Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 258. It is our second Let Me Remember lesson. We have two more, and then we are complete with another relevant special thought section in part 2 of the workbook, What is Sin? And please subscribe if you have not yet done so. So today's lesson is Let Me Remember That My Goal is God. As I said yesterday, in yesterday's lesson, let me remember what my purpose is. And throughout yesterday's lesson, we were interchanging the terms, the words goal, purpose, function. Today, we are again, let me remember what my goal is God. Let me remember that my purpose is to find God, to come home to God. And of course, we just had 2 days ago, God is the only goal I have today and every day, truthfully. So let me remember that my goal is God. Let me remember what my purpose, my function is here, what my goal is here. The lesson begins. All that is needful is to train our minds to overlook all little senseless aims and to remember that our goal indeed is God. That's all. To train our minds. Now, if you will think back to right around lesson 1, whether for you that was the 1st of January or some other day, I spoke a lot about, and it's one of the Janetisms, that an untrained mind is not sustainable. Our minds need to be trained. We are really here to train our minds towards what is real and what is true. Because currently, with the ego mind in charge, if the ego mind is still in charge, and of course our minds are not as untrained as they were when we began the first lesson, the first several lessons. So I want to train my mind, and I want to refigure out really what is my goal and why am I here, and what are these senseless aims that I have conjured up and that I've been holding on to. I want to train my mind to overlook all of those little thoughts, to remember that my goal indeed is God. It's the only goal I have. God's memory is hidden in our minds, obscured by our pointless little goals, which offer nothing and do not exist. In truth, they don't exist because they are coming from the illusory part of our mind, the part of our mind that is filled with false thoughts, the ego mind. The veils, we've talked of veils before, and clouds and walls surrounding us. Those veils of unremembering and forgetfulness have fallen over me and my mind, and they have obscured the light. So in place of the light and in place of thoughts that I think with my Father, I've given myself small thoughts, little insignificant things just to occupy my time. But ultimately, I do realize that they all are pointless because they do not lead me to God. So I've obscured, they are hidden in my mind and obscured, but by pointless little goals which all for nothing do not exist. Shall we continue to allow God's grace to shine in unawareness while the toys and trinkets of the world are sought instead? The toys and trinkets. Now, if I just go for the moment back to what is sin, and we have, the 5th paragraph that says, "How long, O Son of God, will you maintain the game of sin? Shall we not put away those sharp-edged children's toys? And how soon? Well, then I will be ready to come home. And perhaps today there is no sin. Creation is unchanged. I have never changed. My Father creates what is changeless and eternal and timeless. So creation is unchanged. I am unchanged. But would I still hold the return? Would I still delay the return to heaven back?" And then the paragraph ends with, "How long, O holy child of God, Son of God, how long? How long do we want to hang out in this space of pointless, small, unimportant thoughts that all they do is delay our homecoming. And remember, we're the homecoming king and queen. They are waiting anxiously, happily, maybe not anxious, happily waiting for us to return home. There's no anxiety in heaven, no anxiety in God, just here. God is our only goal, our only love. We have no aim but to remember Him. The second part of the lesson is the prayer. And it says, our goal is but to follow in the way that leads to you. I'm going to reread it and substitute the word journey over goal. Our journey is but to follow in the way that leads to God. We have no destination, no goal, but this. What could we want but to remember you? What offers me everything I want but to remember my Father? Every other goal, every other aim, every other path that I have followed has always ended in disappointment. There is only one goal that I have today. My goal is God. Let me remember that. Let me remember that my goal is God. If I want unbounded happiness and peace and joy, if I want those attributes of my Father to be mine, for me to claim them, for me to understand that they are mine, what could I want? What could give me that except to remember that my goal is God and to remember my Father, to remember you? What could we seek but our identity with a capital I? There is no thing in this world, this separated, small, truly unimportant world, that I will seek for, that will offer me a tenth of the happiness and the joy that I receive when I put away those sharp-edged toys, when I put down all of my false thoughts, when I let go of the ego mind and I realize there's nothing here that is of value. This world is meaningless. It has no meaning. It has no purpose. It has no reason. My goal is God. Your goal is God. And let me remember that. Let me remember my identity. Let me remember my purpose. Let me remember my function. Let me remember the joy that is awaiting me when I come home. And that can happen today. There's no reason to delay any longer. We know the way. We have been given a guide. Today is a good day to go home. And that's it for today. I hope it helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment. 2 more Let Me Remember lessons, and then we go into our next relevant thought, which is a good one, a prevalent one here in this world. So like, share, subscribe, comment, smile, big breath in, big breath out, and please try to today remember your goal. Namaste.